Good morning, friends. Day 32, bar is closed. 32 days without a hangover. So I thought I would check in this morning instead of an evening check-in. And some of the things that are really flowing through on this morning is a beautiful sunrise. I got to drive in, from the mountains into downtown Sheridan to land in my new offices here. And as I'm driving, it's along the Bighorn Range there. You get to see the mountains and there's fresh snow all over the ground. And when I left HBO, I was able to grab a bunch of swag CDs. And right before I was moving from Florida, I grabbed these cases of 300 CDs. I must have had 900 CDs in the garage that I've been keeping around forever. And I finally just threw them all out. I remember it being a big deal to me. And in some ways, I actually regret it because there's some CDs in there I wish I could come pull back out again. But anyway, I got rid of them. And so I just grabbed these handful of CDs and threw them in a little visor in my Suburban, because my Suburban still just has a CD player and a tape deck, nothing fancy. You can do a little Bluetooth if you want in the lighter, but usually I just do the CDs. And I have this Bored to Death soundtrack CD that I'm playing, and it's got some really cool tracks on it that I would have never heard had it not been in there. They have been the theme songs of my daily transits, morning and night, which has been really neat. There's some really funny humor in the beginning of them. They have these little excerpts from the show, and I find myself laughing out loud, which is fun, right? When you're really sober and you're laughing out loud, you're giggling. It's really you inside of there. There's nothing in between you and the world and you. So it's been fun to feel that sense of humor and enjoy those songs so thoroughly. And I think what has really come out of the 32 days, I think, number one, getting to a month of sobriety is probably not that hard for most people. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But a month feels like you can kind of get across that marathon race and tag it and go, I did it. 60 days from the beginning and even to now would seem a little bit more daunting. I think that's why I even chose it. It's no, we don't get to stop the race early. And to be honest, right before 30 days, I was kind of thinking, I don't have anything more to say. Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. Maybe I should do it once a week. Maybe I don't even know. Maybe I should start interviewing people. But I realized that it's a daily journal for one. And for two, it's actually getting clearer. After 30 days, more is happening. More, And one of the greatest feelings I'm having right now in the sobriety of it all, beyond not having the hangovers, and the hangovers are something that I've learned to manage, obviously, right? Most of us do, and we get up and we push through and we almost greet them, as an ally, as a friend. And, by 9 o'clock, we're on our game, or 10 o'clock, whatever, even if we're in the office earlier, we're dragging ass a little bit, we're back to our meter and we're kicking ass and we're doing what we do to bring home the bacon, and life goes on. And then next morning comes. But kind of when you do that, it's almost like what I was talking about, where you're have some drinks to get in the mood to go do something that you maybe didn't want to do before. In the same way as you wake up in the hangover land, you push through, right? You push through your bulldog, your bull. You're I can handle this. This is life. This is life how it's handed to me. This is how I live. And you push through, and that's that. But when you're sober, you're not pushing through. You're in it. You're sitting still. You're drinking your coffee a little bit more slowly. You're kind of zoning out. You're paying attention on the drive a little bit more. And I guess what I'm seeing is a lot more nuance, a lot more subtleties. And they sink in a little deeper, and they drag on a little longer. And in that, it makes life feel more romantic at this moment, today, this morning's drive, how my life is playing out, who's in my life, who I love, who loves me, how I can get up and each day make that place a better place for myself and all of us in it together. It's romantic, and I'm excited to share that romance and that joy and those thrills and those subtle nuances with the people I love. Day 32.
Hit the road.